Hey guys, welcome to Last Movie Standing. I promised you weeks ago I would get this video done as soon as it came out on 4K. I made a video announcing that Doomsday from 2008 was coming to 4K and how stoked I was for it. And today we're going to do a side-by-side comparison between the brand new 4K from Scream Factory and the original Blu-ray from 2008 and kind of how they compare. Now, what I want to do is I want to do a side by not just a side by side, but almost like a commentary on. I want to walk you through that. That's kind of how I want to start doing side by sides. I don't just want to put the image on the screen and me just talk and miss information. I want to show you and talk at the same time. But for those of y'all who've never heard of Doomsday, dude, Doomsday is dope. Doomsday, I feel like, goes really under the radar. It's from director Neil Marshall. He did Dog Soldiers, The Descent. He did Hellboy, not the one with David Harbour, which wasn't very good. We're not gonna hold that against him. I think he was going through a rough time right now, back then. But he was on a roll back in the 2000s, man. We don't have Descent on 4K yet, which is surprising how this came first, but I'm happy this came out. This is literally, like I said in my last video, it's 28 Days Later meets Mad Max with a little bit of Camelot, Excalibur, that kind of medieval times in here. Totally random, but it works. Especially the ending. The ending goes full Mad Max on this, but really awesome apocalyptic movie set in London, England, just the UK actually. I'm not gonna limit it because I think it takes place in Glasgow, or they go north of Glasgow, over the quarantine wall into the dead zone. Really dope movie, very stylized. Definitely suggest checking it out. That being said, I'm gonna go through. I wish I had done the DVD for this too to just compare all of it, but I didn't even think about that till later. So all this long ass intro getting aside, let's get into the actual side by side comparisons to see what the difference is. All right, so here we are. We have all three, really all three of them. We have the original Blu-ray from 2008, the unrated version here at the top, which is 25 gigabytes. Down here right under me, we have the brand new 2024 Blu-ray, which is 50 gigs, and this is the brand new 4K scan. And then over here in the bottom corner, we have the brand new 2024 4K UHD theatrical cut. So I tried to sync it up as much as possible. There may be one or two parts where the framing, it's off by 1 or 2 frames just because these are different cuts. But there's really no difference. And I'll kind of walk you through the small little differences in them that don't change the story. But this 4K is 100 gigabyte disc. So let's go through. Already you can kind of tell a little bit of difference, especially color wise. You know, this old one, the main thing you're going to notice are the highlights. The highlights are going to be a lot more blown out in the old 2008 Blu-ray, where the colors are going to hold a lot better. The colors, the highlights, and all that are going to hold much better. I'm not going to go over grain structure because, to be honest, I think the grain looks fine in all the new stuff. I didn't really even notice that much grain in the original one, but you do see grain in the 4K and the new Blu-ray, but it's very subtle and very natural. Very subtle, very natural, because this was shot on film. So automatically you can kind of see the differences. Let's play some. I don't know which one looks better. I would say in this part, this 4K just holds it so much better. You can see everything, the colors. This one looks a little darker, but I'm just going to tell you now, this 2024 Blu-ray unrated is probably one of my favorites, and we'll get to that more when we see the fire. So let's look at the skin tones. This is what I'm talking about with being blown out. Look at the top of his forehead. You see how it's really white? Where here it's a little bit subtler. You can, it kind of goes from really white to medium to almost none. Right here in the 4K, it's like different levels all the way down. But the main thing I want to show you guys is this scene. This is one of my favorite scenes. Right here. There's a difference between all of these. Now, the 4K, you can see, and I'll show you more when we get to the close-ups, but the 4K really brings the brightness down a lot, and you can see the details more, where this original Blu-ray, the blue just hits them in the face, you know, and it's like, it looks good. Like, honestly, you watch all three of these, there's not that big of a difference. And that's one of the things I wanted to kind of show this movie is a great upgrade and a good update to this movie, but it's not the biggest, like, necessary thing. Like, you don't have to upgrade everything because a lot of things do just look fine, you know? My personal favorite is this because I do see the difference. Like, and seeing it on the TV versus here is different too. You really see the difference. But between this old Blu-ray and this new Blu-ray, this one holds the quality a lot better. And I will say they are different aspect ratios. Very subtle. The original is I think 2:39 to 1 aspect ratio, which is the bars at the top, and this original Blu-ray was done in 2:35. So it's like the aspect ratio feels like it shifts a little bit. But this 4K holds the colors a lot more. Here, let's get to a close-up. You can really see. So, like, look at his face right here on the original Blu-ray. You can see it's not as sharp, and it's just really blowing it out. Where if you look down here at the 4K, it's holding that detail. And here's like I feel like the 2024 Blu-ray is a very good happy medium between the two. I really do. That's why I'm like, this is the Goldilocks porridge I like, is the warm kind, the middle one. It's just, I think it holds up the best. Like look at her face. Let's go like frame by frame. Like, this looks really good. This 4K looks so good. Especially you compare these two, the old Blu-ray and the new 4K, you can see the difference. But here it's like, okay, these two look a lot similar, but this one to me still I like sometimes when it's, you know, it's brighter. My one thing with some 4Ks is I'll just disclaimer, I don't have an OLED TV, I don't have a Dolby Vision TV. So this is just average Joe 4K TV, regular 4K player, and a PlayStation 5. Like, these are just normal things. Like, so I know if I had a Dolby Vision TV or an OLED TV, this 4K would look 1,000 times better to me, but I don't have that setup, and not everybody does. So this is kind of showing you an average Joe point of it. But I feel like with some of these, each version's going to have their strengths and weaknesses, and the 2024 Blu-ray is the best medium in between. It holds the quality, but it still gives me that look on their face. Like look at these two. Like, especially on this black character right here. He's a lot darker in the 4K, where here the highlights just emphasize his features more, and you can see him better. Where here it's just like, it looks like the light is just really going on the old one, but it doesn't look bad. Like, none of these look bad at all. I wanted to show this scene because of the green and the colors. Look, this is a big dramatic saturation. Like, look at this one. This has no life in the leaves right here. This is like they walk out. This is like the very end of the movie. And where is it? Like, look at the 4K. You can see the green and the life and the healthiness of these plants. Here, it still looks dead. It's green, but the old Blu-ray still looks dead. Where the new Blu-ray, it's kind of a happy in between. It's not as green and vibrant as the 4K Dolby Vision, but you can still see the green textures. But look, here's a perfect example of skin colors. Like, she looks healthy right here. You can see like red in her skin, where here it's a little bit more desaturated in the old Blu-ray, but it still does not look bad. Like, none of these look bad. The blue, like the saturation really in the Dolby Vision pops a lot more. And like I said, it's all a preference thing. Like, you can really see the difference in the blue. Like, this is blue in the 4K, and this is kind of teal-ish, and this is, like I said, in between. I think the 4K just takes it for this particular scene. Especially here, like, look at the difference in colors. This is warm and this is cool. Most old Blu-rays went on the cooler side. Like, this from 2008, so all their files would be more on the cooler blue side. We're getting now finally to that more natural warmthness that films had. And these two very similar, but this is again another happy in between with the 50 gigabyte disc. Most of this movie is dark. It really, most of, like, the first half of this movie is all basically at night. You know, here's another great example of the difference between the two. On this 4K, you can see the green life growing in these houses, like the ruins, where here just, you can't really tell. Everything still looks dead. It's supposed to be like everything's getting back to normal in the movie, but here everything still looks dead, even with the sunrise. With the new Blu-ray, it's like it's in between. You can see a little bit of green, you know, and it looks a little brighter. This just looks dead and cold. The 4K really shows the life coming back into the city. So let's look at the greens. These are two totally different greens, but none of them look bad. It's just a small tint in the colors. This one, I can't tell which one's which, to be honest. I think all three of these look equally just as good. I think the highlights hold up in all of them, and they look exactly the same. I don't think you can tell a difference in this one. And a lot of the film is like that, where you can't, some of them are just, yeah, I mean, you can see his suit looks a little bit more purplish blue or gray, where here it looks dark gray, and here it looks a little blue. I mean, it's very small things that you will never notice unless you watch it frame by frame, you know? This shot, I think my favorite of this is the new Blu-ray. I think this is a little too bright. And maybe it's supposed to be bright, but I think the shadows of this one just, it looks better to me. Right here. All right, now let's get into some dark scenes. This is a dramatic difference. Like, look at how the 4K is taking more of the night shots. And you got to think most of this movie is at night, especially at the beginning part. Okay, so if you don't know, in the story, she has a prosthetic eye that has a camera in it. So they do kind of this cool like Blade Runner effect with her eye, because she's got night vision in that eye. A little nod to that, but honestly, this new Blu-ray is my favorite. I will take it over this 4K. This 4K is way too dark for me, and the blues just are too crushed. Like, I can barely see what's going on here. Let's skip a little bit. All right, I love this Dalian shot right here. Which one's y'all's favorite? Again, my favorite is the new Blu-ray right here. I think it's a good in-between. I think this is a little too desaturated, and I think the contrast here in the 4K is just way too flat. I think the contrast holds up a lot better on the 2024 Blu-ray. Because look how flat, like, look at the difference between these two. it's really a difference. And this one's just a little bit more desaturated. And some people, like I said, preference. Some people may look at this new Blu-ray and be like, oh, that's way too saturated, or that's way too, this or that. But when she gets out the car, I gotta say, I think the 4K wins. I like this look. It goes back to that saturated look. Like the blues hold up, her skin tone holds up. Here it's very desaturated in the old Blu-ray. I mean, it fits a style. This movie is very orange and teal, which was the thing back in the day. Moonlight, blue backlight, make sure their skin is warm and orange. Here, good happy medium. The contrast is a little higher on this one, where here it's a little more reframed to where you can actually see it looks softer, where here it's like hard, but I like it. Let's play this dolly in shot. Honestly, like, okay, I'm gonna just play this frame by frame, and I think these are all on the same thing. Look how sharp this is the whole time. Like, I can go any frame, pause any frame, and she's sharp, and I can see. With these two are not, and I don't know what that is. I mean, this old Blu-ray is pretty sharp, but it still goes a little fuzzy on places, and this 4K is just soft the whole time in this scene. Now the colors look good, but it's really soft. And again, I think it's just a Dolby Vision thing. I'm not playing this on a Dolby Vision screen or player, so I may not be getting the full effect of it. And if you are a Dolby Vision owner, you will probably see this and know how it will look on your TV. Me, it's so hard to tell. Let's skim through a little bit. Like look at this shot. You cannot tell which one's which. All three of these look the exact same. All look the exact same. The blues look the same. The oranges look the same. Now this one, clearly the 4K, the blues are a lot more crushed. This is one of my favorites with this chick. So this chick should have been the lead of this movie, or the main bad. Oh my god, I love this chick. So this guy is basically, he's an army guy who this basically band of misfits captured, and they're gonna eat him. They're gonna roast him and eat him. Essentially, this chick. Oh my god. All three of these, I can't tell the difference right now. Swear to God, I cannot tell the difference between these three in this shot. And that's kind of what I wanted to make this for, to show that not all 4Ks are like this big night and day transformation thing. And I'll get to the okay, that's where it is. But it's not everywhere. Like look at this scene. I can't tell which scene is which. They all the reds look equally saturated, and all the skin tones look equally the same. Can't tell the difference. Let's see. Let's scan through a little bit. I love this chick. I can just play her all day long. Evil. Right here. Okay, so this is where you're really going to see the difference. The fire. The fire is different colors on all of these. Here, you still can't see a difference. I can't. Hold on. Let's see. I really can't see a difference between them. Not enough to really notice. But wait till we get here with the fire. Okay, I'm going to play this. Should I play it frame by frame? No, I'm going to wait. Hold on. Right here. So, the fire is basically 3 different colors. in these. Here it's nice and orange. And in the 4K, it's almost red, which I kind of dig. It is a color correction, a color grading difference, but it feels like more heat on her. Like, look at here, her face is red right here. Now this Blu-ray does look a little dark in comparison. I don't know why, but like I said, everything when it comes to these, I feel like they're all they all have their strengths and their weaknesses. So I don't believe somebody can just say like, oh, this 4K is better than everything else. It's the end all be all. If you really look at some things all together, you're like, it's the law of diminishing return. You're paying more, you're double dipping, you're upgrading, but you're getting like this much difference. Sometimes not at all. Like sometimes you can't tell a difference. But I trust 4Ks a lot with compression rates. That's a real thing. Now let's look at this CGI shot. This guy's getting burned alive. And like I said, here orange. Here he's very red. I hope this scene shouldn't get me in trouble on YouTube. But this one's probably my favorite. This one looks the more natural one. The fire just looks the more natural. This is way too orange, and this is like how fire I feel like it would look, and this is a little bright in red. But I mean, in this one, the new Blu-ray hides the 4K. I mean, the VFX a little better, being darker. And then we're gonna get to, yeah, you see the difference with the fire, with the colors. That's gonna be the main thing where we're gonna talk about is the fire. Now here you can really see a difference. This is where you're really gonna see a difference in the movie, is in the highlights. So you can see on this Blu-ray, everything is like almost blown out. It's way too bright over here. You can't see texture. Here, all that in the 4K, all that highlight is brought down, and you can really see the details. And then, like I said, the new Blu-ray, happy medium. Let's get to this explosion real fast. This is where you can really see a difference in the fire. Look at this frame by frame. All three of these fires are totally different colors. I feel like this Blu-ray is the most natural. The new Blu-ray, I feel like this old Blu-ray still, like, all these look great. Like it's really not like, oh yeah, the 4K is like 1,000 times better. It's redder. It looks a little bit more real, but I feel like, as I said, the new Blu-ray is a happy medium. This is the big famous scene from the trailer where the Bentley goes through the bus. Okay, so look at this fire too. I don't know why I'm just on my fire. I feel like fire is the main thing you're gonna notice differently. Everything else, there's no real difference. I don't know why that is. There are a few scenes where you can see the sky a little better. Like, look at this scene. I can't tell you which one's which. Like, all these look exactly the same. This is the scene. This is the scene he's going. And this is where you really see the different fires. Right here. Wait till we get to the other shot. Hold on, play it. Right here. All of this is different colors. Now, I'm not saying either one of these are better than the other. Like I said, the new Blu-ray wins to me, but I don't mind the old Blu-ray too at the same time. I feel like this fire looks, they look different colors, and different fires give different lighting effects. Not all fires are supposed to look the same. It depends on, the pyrotechnics, the gasoline, all that stuff that they use to make it different colors. So this was a very high explosion, so of course it's going to look different than fire if they were just by a campfire or something. But I mean, it probably would be that like harsh red. It would not be this bright yellow for sure, or this bright orange. It would not be. It would very much be more of these two, the bottom ones. So that was kind of a side by side. Just I didn't want to go through the whole film. I just kind of wanted to go through scenes that I noticed the most difference in between the brand new 4K and the old Blu-ray. Even the brand new Blu-ray, I feel like this is definitely a winner in an upgrade from this, just based on disk space, with, you know, the old one being 25 and the new one being 50, and the 4K being 100 gigabytes. I feel like it's gonna hold that better. And when I get a Dolby Play or a Dolby TV, I feel like this will look so much better. But I've not had that much luck with Dolby Vision. I'll make a whole video about that maybe one day, about how Starship Troopers looks like really, really bad on my TV, the 4K, because it's, I think, Dolby Vision, and it's like it doesn't look right. But this Dolby Vision looks really good. It's just, in comparison, you'll never notice it. I watched all of these back to back. I watched them all day, basically, to make this video and to really see the difference. And most of the times, you can't tell the difference. The biggest difference I saw was that opening, well, not the opening, but that blue scene when they open the container and reveal the Bentley, and that blue light is just blasting them. That was the first time I was like, oh, there's a difference here. But overall, I think this new 4K is a home run for the movie. Just the fact that they put this on a 100 gigabyte disc, where the new Amityville Horror remake from is it 2005 or 6, they only put that on a 66. So they actually took the time to put this on a much bigger disc for us. And it's got all the original special features and a bunch of new special features. I haven't gone through the new special features because most of this is new commentary, the new interviews. But the main thing I wanted to get through is the comparisons, because I feel like that's what really people care about. Some people just care about, oh, it's got new special features, it's got a new interview with the director. I don't really care about that. I want to see how they make the movie, and that's on the original supplements, which is on here. But that's just my take. What do you think? Let me know.